Hi, it's Will from stormthecastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as Epic Fantasy. And this is my latest tutorial. This is a fast and easy tutorial. This is how to make a foam knife that looks real. So yeah, this is actually a sub-hilt knife, and it comes out pretty good. Real easy project. If you've never made one of my projects, this might be the one you might want to try because you don't need a whole lot of supplies. Let me show you what you're going to need. Some foam board, glue or a hot glue gun, optionally a paper punch to do these pins here, right? An X-Acto knife, and two paints, silver and brown, and that's it. Well, you might want to use some kind of a sealant here to seal this. I used Mod Podge to seal this to give it like a wood shiny look. But that's everything, and it comes out really looking really good. So let's launch into the, I also will give you the template for this. So if you want to make this exact knife, you can print up that template and make this knife to this shape and size. I made this particular knife because I am actually going to be blacksmithing up this one in steel, this sub-hilt knife like this. So you might want to stay tuned for that project. I'm going to make the same knife out of steel. That'll be a fun little comparison to do. So I like it. This sub-hilt here this is actually a fighting knife because if you're holding this knife here, it can't be pulled out of your hand. See it? If you were holding a normal knife, it can be pulled out of your hand. But with this section here, see it? It's stopped by your finger. So it's like a security thing. All right, let's launch into the introduction, and then let's do how to make a foam board knife that looks like a real knife. Thank you. Dioramas, origami, catapults, and treasure stays, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, model rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. StormTheCastle.com. Let's make something. Okay, go to the URL in the description of this video to the web page and print up the template. There it is, as simple as that. 3 pieces, and cut out those pieces. And then trace them onto foam board. And you can't do this project in cardboard, it doesn't come out right because of the corrugations in the cardboard. And then cut out the pieces. And glue them together. Pretty simple. A handle piece goes underneath and another handle piece goes on top. You know, it's the funniest thing, I said it already, but I'm going to be making this knife, I'm pretty sure, although I may change the design a little bit, out of steel. I'll be forging it up. So you might want to see that, to see how differently an actual steel knife is made. But I have a bunch of knife projects that I've made, dagger and a push dagger and a karambit and all kinds of stuff. So there you go, you glue the 3 pieces together, and then sand the handle. And leave some of the paper on the handle if you can, because that actually gives like a wood grain look to it. It's kind of nice. At the highest point, I left a little bit of paper, although not a full. And to get the lines for the steel, between the steel and the wood, you use the edge of the sandpaper like that. It works pretty good. Really not a whole lot to making something like this. You just got to take your time, and painting makes a big difference. Now let's mark off the blade. And the template shows you where these lines are, so if you want to get it the same. And then cut out those pieces by just cutting the top layer of foam board. The top layer of paper on the foam board. And then remove that paper. Some foam board is difficult to remove the paper. Take your time with it. Use the knife if you need to. Some foam board is very easy to take the paper off. There you go, and you don't have to get it 100% because then you go ahead and sand it down to a bevel. I used a few different grits, 180, 120, I think I used 220. So once you get it all shaped out nice the way you like it and nice and smooth, we can go ahead and paint it. The sub-hilt and the hilt are silver, the pommel is silver. If you don't have silver paint, not everybody has silver paint, you can use a light gray, it's pretty good. You know, but silver is better. And then paint the blade and the whole blade. That's it. We're just buzzing right through this tutorial. Didn't take me long to make this project. It won't take you long to make this project either. And then paint the handle a shade of brown. And if you want to get fancy, you can use a couple of different shades of brown and kind of mix it up a little bit so it gives a wood grain-like look. And you can see here I get a lot of water added to this brown. That gives it a nice variation in the darkness of it and the richness of the handle. So to do the pins, I used a hole punch and some foil paper. You probably can use aluminum foil if you don't have foil paper. Just to cut out some nice circles like this. And then you just glue them on. Just like that. Only really one thing remaining, and that's to get a shine out of the handle. And I did that with a acrylic gloss super heavy gel. You can also use Mod Podge or some kind of other material that will leave a glossy shine, like some kind of a sealer or something. And I actually did, I believe, 3 coats. See, this is the second coat. You let the coat dry and then you coat it again. And don't forget the sub-hilt. And that's it. So you can go ahead and, once the paint is dry on the blade, you can actually go ahead and use a fine grit sandpaper, maybe like a 600, to sand over again, because that will actually smooth out the blade and make it look more like steel. It runs the paint, it kind of melts the paint into the cracks. And then paint it again. And that's it. We are done. Let's take a look at this knife. Pretty happy with it. If you make this knife, make sure you send me a picture of it. I will put it on my website. You know, I picked it up to show somebody, and they were like, wow, cool knife. And then they said, hey, wait a minute. The way, how fast I moved with it and the way it held in my hand, they says, wait a minute, there's something wrong with that knife. It's so light. So there you go. Here's some more projects you might like. Make a Skyrim metal coin. Make a dagger out of ice. Make a karambit fighting knife out of steel. And that fourth one is how to make a mini crossbow. Thank you.